Hey everybody, I've had some people asking me why planning before investing. Why is our channel called Planning Before Investing? Why have I always said it's important to have a plan before you invest? And it comes down to a lot of different things. But the reality is let's start with the fact that what I've experienced in this industry is somewhat appalling and is why I do what I do. There are salesmen everywhere. And I can't say this enough. It's just the reality of it. Okay. We need to understand that it's not just people selling you annuities, it's built into virtually everybody in this entire industry. If I didn't know how to be a salesman or a successful salesman, the reality is I would have zero clients and I would be in debt and I wouldn't have a business. I can't be an advisor without at some level, and good or bad, being a salesman. So we need to understand that there's quotas and commissions riddled across the industry. Some commissions come from you, some don't. Some quotas are employer based, some are incentive based, but they're everywhere. I've interviewed in the early years with a lot of the bigger firms out there. I got to see what their quotas were. I got to see what you had to do, whether it was right for the client or not. It's everywhere in this business. It's not good. It shouldn't be this way, especially under the guise of being a fiduciary. That word gets thrown out everywhere, whether they are a fiduciary or not. If you're a W-2 employee, your responsibility is to your employer. The law makes it that way. So the employer is the fiduciary. That's the difference. Okay? When you're actually a fiduciary, you're personally legally liable. But the reality is in order to be an advisor, whether it's for a company or independent like myself, if I can't bring in new business, I'm not going to be in business. I can't advise anybody if they don't want me to be their advisor. So it is the first priority, good or bad. They got to find their ways to be less of a salesman, to be not driven by decisions of salesmen. That's so important to be an actual fiduciary. You have to be able to bring in business in an ethical way, in a way that does not put you in a difficult position. Think about a dinner seminar. People are spending $15,000 putting on a dinner seminar, a sales event. And even if they're not selling a commission product, which they'll probably go out of business if they're not, they got to make up that $15,000 right there, right? So think about the position that they're in. It's a conflict of interest right off the bat. They have to make up the cost of the sales event. Think about the cost of these dinner seminars. Think about TV. I know somebody spending a huge amount of dollars here in Arizona that is on TV consistently. The amount of money they have to spend to put on these dinner seminars, to be on TV, to be on radio. I know another guy, he was spending $30,000 a month just for the cost of the radio show itself, number one in the market. It's amazing the amount of money they're spending just to bring in new clientele, and it puts them in a bad position starting second one. This is why I've done the education. I looked at this practically. I looked at what was going on out there. I looked at these dinner seminars that are everywhere here in Arizona, and I said, this is just terrible. This puts you in a bad position from second one. Why not actually put good content out there? Make people want to come see your education and not have to spend money on dinners and mailers and all this other stuff. Put on some good stuff, and then you can prove that you're a smart person and you don't have to sell them. So yeah, have a plan before investing, because that's going to help, not fix, but certainly help work through this sales world that we are in. Good advisors are going to understand why and when to use investments. A good written plan, not a computer spit out with a bunch of graphs and pages of fine print. No, A good advisor can put it in writing and saying, this is why the portfolio I suggest and why I suggest it. Okay. So the next part, well, grow or fail is also the salesman side of it, right? That's just the business mantra in general. Any publicly traded business, if they don't keep growing, their stock starts plummeting. All right. So give your investments purpose. Now, here's the thing. It is so important to understand that each of you is a unique person. You are different than your neighbor, your friend, and anybody else out there. You have different aspirations, you have different income, you have different numbers, right? The black and white stuff that's completely different than the next person. So, this is why planning becomes so important. Who are you? What do you want in life? What keeps you up at night? What are your priorities? The portfolio should be targeted. It should be focused on you and your situation, not your neighbor down the street, not your golfing buddy that always seems to have 20+% returns every time you talk to them. You are different than them. Okay, so it's important that we have a plan to make sure our investments have a purpose, right? Then efficiency. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where an advisor actually starts earning their keep. It's about creating efficiency. Okay, now on the lesser part, I would say I opened up hourly advising for people that are in these wealth building years. I don't think you should be, for the most part. There are some people that have situations that call for it, but if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s and you're wealth building, all you're trying to do is save. I want you to be as efficient as possible. I don't think you should have people charging you management fees to advise you on what. I can tell it to you in 1 hour. And then if you want to come back and get my opinion every year, great. I don't have a problem with that. But you've got to keep your emotions in check, and having a plan does that. Roth versus pre-tax, understanding when you should be doing the Roth 401k versus the pre-tax 401k. The question marks should be coming up because of the new regulations that are, pushing that Roth 401k. It's because they want you to pay taxes now. And when you're in your prime earning years, guess what? You're probably paying the highest percentage you'll pay in your life. There is a selfish reason. And then the priorities. What are your priorities, right? It helps you make decisions. Should I buy the 2-year-old car or do this fantastic brand new car? I'm going to pay an extra 10 grand for this. Is retirement more important to you, or is enjoying the here and now more important to you? Having those checks and balances to remind you, these are all things that will help you become more successful. Creating the efficiencies from day to day. The distribution years. Now, this is where a good advisor really can make a huge difference on creating efficiencies. Certainly managing the emotions, the decisions that we make because of emotions. Boy, is it difficult to just flip that switch and go from spending less than you make to spending more than you make. It's not easy. And a good advisor is really going to help with things like that. Sustainable income plan that's tax efficient. This is huge. This is where that creating efficiency, they make up their fees and then some. You can save 10+% taxes if you're doing things more efficiently. I see that regularly, easily making up for any fee that I would ever charge. Long-term care, having a plan. There's so many things that come into this stage of life. Those are just the big ones. Required distributions. People don't understand them and know how to tackle them. There's so many things during the distribution years. And then certainly making sure that you're prepared for those wealth transfer years. Having all the right documentation, making sure the beneficiaries are all listed properly, and making sure your heirs have a resource instead of just paying some attorney. Lord, too many fees. I can't believe how much I've seen people paying in fees just to settle estates that take an hour or so of work. It really is not that big of a deal in most people's cases. Are there complicated situations that need attorneys? Absolutely. But they make those trusts really big, thick documents. They put their business cards in there. They make it, very difficult to understand and navigate for a reason, because they want the billable hours after you're gone. And an advisor can get it done lickety split, quick and easy, done when done properly. So that efficient transfer upon your passing. Huge difference when there's an advisor that knows what's going on. The expense is so much less. So an advisor needs to be there to be an advisor. They need knowledge. They need the understanding of everything to make you as efficient as possible. That includes taxation. It's so important when it comes to those distribution years. And honestly, for people in their wealth building years, making choices of Roth or pre-tax savings. They need to be a coach. They need to be there to motivate you as a cheerleader. And yes, they need to be there as a therapist, keeping you out of your own way. It's amazing how much that comes into play, especially in that transition into retirement. That's my favorite phase of life. I love working with people, and I don't want you to need me. But some people need me for a few years. Some people need me for their entire retirement. And some people just need me for a year or two till they get the hang of it. The reality is I want you to go be successful in retirement. That is my motivation. I love hearing that you're enjoying things. I love hearing the stories from clients on the travels and the adventures and the fun. That's what's important. So planning before investing, it enhances your investments. It makes them better. It makes them more efficient. Yes, planning before investing is important. Not a computer printout, something that's unique to you. Everybody has different needs, so a plan is going to address those needs that are unique to you. That's what's important. Certainly give me a call if you need any help with anything. You can go on yourinvestmentcounselor.com and click on scroll down and click on the free meet and greet. You can schedule an appointment with me. I love working hourly or as a traditional manager. Any way we like it, it doesn't matter to me, but you can have a free meet and greet. Ask me all the questions you want. I'm always happy to help. If you just need a good financial plan, I can do that. I can also help implement and manage. I can do anything you need me to do. I love doing this, especially over Zoom. It's kind of fun. I get to meet people all over the world. So fpfeaz.org is a lot of that education that I do out there. It's free to me, so I just do lots of it. It's great. I'm not in a bad position because of it. I'm not spending tens of thousands of dollars on TV and radio and all this other garbage that goes on out there. It's about education, and that's what I care about. I love educating people. fpfeaz.org is the nonprofit that I run and do all that education through. Always happy to help. Like, share the video, do what you got to do, and keep an eye out for my book. My book is coming. All right, everybody, have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.